What did the change in offensive line coaches, how did that impact you? What was your reaction to that? And, how has it impacted you specifically on the field as far as what technique you're using and how you're playing, if at all?
For me, it definitely, was a difference having a different coach. But my approach is to take, everything I can from whoever's leading us, whoever's getting us right for the game. Technique-wise, there are a few minor details, but the play scheme, all of that is the same. It's a few minor details that are different. And then play-wise, I think I've just been continuing to work the technique that I've been taught. I think it's starting to click more, but I'm still, working every day to get better.
And just as an offensive lineman and as a rookie, trying to find your footing early in a rookie year, you get to a game where you guys really control the game on the ground. How satisfying is that for you personally, to be a part of an effort like that?
I mean, it's a great feeling being able to run the ball whenever you want to against a pretty good front. It's good in the O-line room because we work hard to get where we are. But like I said, it's a lot of things we can still improve on to be, better.
Thanks.
Hey, Andrew, you said you just made minor technique changes with the new O-line coach. So, from the start of the season to now, is it more a factor of you just getting better or you made changes?
I think it's a little bit of both. I took coaching points from both coaches, and obviously, not having a preseason, not having, OTAs and things like that had an effect. So playing my first couple games, it took a minute to grasp, and I'm still getting better. I'm still working, trying to fix some things, but I think it just takes, times and repetitions to get better.
Well, you didn't drastically change the techniques. You got better at them.
Yeah, I'm just getting better. It's not a drastic change, no.
I wanted to ask you sort of a big picture question. Between the change in offensive line coaches, the slow start you had this season, compared to the way you're playing now, plus, the team going 1-7 and now winning 4 straight. What have you really learned about yourself and about the NFL, through the season so far?
Just that you have to keep a level head. Coach talks about ignoring the noise, and that's a big thing that I've learned to do. Whether you're performing well or not performing so well, you just have to keep a level head, continue to work like it's your first day, and then eventually things may work out for you. But even if they don't, you have to continue to work hard and try not to pay attention to outside things.
What do you think is the biggest difference in regards? I know you mentioned some of it's technique and some of it, but if you had to pinpoint one thing. The Andrew Thomas, maybe the first 5 or 6 weeks, and Andrew Thomas the last 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. What's the one thing that stands out to you?
I mean, for me, the thing that stands out the most would probably be the inside move. Obviously, in the beginning, that was something that I really struggled with oversetting, and that's been something that I've been working over the last few weeks, trying to get better at, and I think that's made the biggest difference. But there's obviously other things too.
County zero.
What's the key to stopping the inside move?
It's just lagging on the defender the right way. I would overset a lot of times and put myself in a bad position, but you have to trail the defender, trust your athleticism to push the guy around the pocket so you don't give up the inside.
Hey, Andrew, I'm just curious what you've learned from going against Leonard Williams and what you make of him as a force on the other side of the line.
He's a great defensive lineman. I get to go against him every day. A lot of times you see in the game he rushes on tackles. So, in practice I get to go against him. And it's just a great opportunity for me playing against a vet like that that's, very talented. I think he has 7 to 8 sacks this year. So playing against him, every day in practice makes me a better player.
Thanks, man.
Don't leave me.
Andrew, I want to follow up on what Ed was asking, where you said you've learned to block out the noise. Was there a time where you didn't block out the noise earlier this season? Did you find that it was starting to bother you in September when people were knocking you, and have you had to learn not to? Or what I'm trying to say, if you learned to block it out, there must be a point where you weren't blocking it out.
Yeah, I see what you're asking. I wouldn't say it was like a certain point where I learned, but that was something that Coach Judge, talked about from the beginning. And I knew it coming into, playing for the New York Giants, huge media market. There's a lot of things. Obviously, there's social media, all those things. I knew, I wasn't unaware, but actually being in it is definitely a different experience. But like I said, just learning how to, be a pro, block out the noise and just continue to work every day to get better.
How similar are the techniques you're using now, Andrew, to what you used at Georgia?
I would say a little bit different as far as like my hands placement. That's been something that I've been working on, but and then set wise a little bit. At Georgia, I was always on a straight hard 45 angle, but recently I've been working a little bit more vertical to an angle set, just depending on the alignment of rushers.
Thanks.
We'll take two more. Tom Rock. Tom Rock.
Andrew, was there a game where it felt like things clicked for you this year?
I would say Tampa game. I think that was my first game that I felt a lot better throughout the game. Obviously, gave up a few pressures, things I had to work on, but I think that was the first game where I felt, I looked on tape and I felt like, I had a good performance. But like I said, just continue to build on that, continue to work.
And then you faced Marcus a lot in training camp. You think that'll come in handy this week?
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to go against MG. He was only here for a short time with me, but he was a good vet. He always, tried to give me pointers and things like that. So, I'm excited to go against him.
Last one here, Pat Leonard.
Hey, Andrew, the oversetting and letting guys inside, was that something you struggled with in college at all, or did that have to do with like a mental thing of the guys at this level being bigger and faster? Because I know, in the SEC, you're playing at that top competition, so I would think that was something you probably did not struggle with and take it here.
It was a little bit of both, I would say. Like I said, at Georgia, I was on that 45 set a lot, but we did a lot of slide protection. So, if I did overset, the guard a lot of times would be right there. But we run a little bit different protections, here. And the way we spot and set was a little bit different, so I had to break that habit. And obviously, going against more talented rushers has an effect on that too. Like they read your hips, they read your inside foot, things like that.